we're going to be doing count 'em, 3 journal entries tonight. 7, 8, and 9. All about He's Totally at Mind Shackled, Joe Crazy's favorite guys, the Marro. So, Joe, how about you start with the first journal entry here?
All right. We're in Nostraland. Journal entry number 7. Waylon also told me about Utgar's Marro warriors. In the past, when I used to drink from the wellspring, I used to get visions of these creatures fighting hordes of snakes. Skinless and dripping, these creatures are the most disgusting that I've ever seen yet. They are brutal with their weapons, and somehow they actually seem to be multiplying. During a battle, I witnessed the most unusual thing. As soon as one of these creatures died, another one was formed. I saw one creature in the water look as if it was going to split in 2. Its body began to stretch apart. I thought it was going to split in half. Then suddenly I looked and there were 2 of these creatures standing where there used to be only 1. Can such creatures ever be completely destroyed?
Yes, them Marro warriors. All right, journal entry 8. Jason, go ahead.
All right. As Raylan was talking quietly, we heard in the distance something moving through the forest. We quickly flew up in a large tree with many leaves. If we remain quiet, we should be able to observe what is coming without being spotted. That's when we saw this hideous creature. Looks like Utgar has a new addition to his already powerful Marro army. This creature was surrounded by an army of Marro drones and a huge horde of blade gruts.
And journal entry 9 says, on the left flank, there is a horde of these skeleton dogs. I like that name, skeleton dogs. They look like another Marro creature. Sergeant Alexander is not going to be happy. We're going to have to make a break for the air to warn the Northern Army. Basically, they're going to fly out. It's like, yeah, this ground, yeah, we need to fly. So this is still the continued scouting mission. And they're identifying the enemy. And basically a ton of Marro. Some orcs, but mostly Marro drones. The nag grubs, as well as now. Remind me what who's this Marro? Is this a Hive Lord?
What next to? Oh, that's
Journal entry 8.
Torkolna.
Torkolna, right? Okay.
Torkolna. No, Contorna? Hold on. Because I get the one that teleports.
You know, we should I have to blame myself. You know, this is something we should have. I should have studied for.
This is a learning experience
prior to the podcast. But of course, I just previously explained it's been a crazy weekend.
Torkolna.
Torkolna.
Okay, I was right. Okay,
yeah. Torkolna. So, yeah, describing Torkolna. And this is basically just a good, fun look at what was the starter, or what was one of the starter sets of Swarm of the Marro. These creatures, just kind of introducing them.
Contorna was the CV one. Okay.
So were these 3 journal entries then written like a while after? Because weren't the first bunch all tied to Rise of the Valkyrie, and then these 3 are obviously for Swarm of the Marro?
It looks like. If Jeremy would hear, he would know the answer right away.
They all written.
But what's interesting, though, I mean, they are, of course, talking about the Marro, but the Marro warriors were Rise of the Valkyrie.
Right.
That's true.
But it is interesting of the time frame of when the journals eventually came out. Because also with the Marden Hounds, they were an expansion unit, which might have come out in between
Skeleton
both
dogs.
master sets.
Were
Yeah.
were the Marden
Yeah,
Hounds? Were the Marden Hounds not part of Swarm of the Morrow?
They were Sworn the Marrow.
I thought
Not
they
in
were.
the master set.
I thought so. Thought they were part of the
I'm pretty
master
sure they
set.
were the Sworn of the Marrow master set.
Somebody do some digging and research for a minute.
No, because stingers and drudges and oh my god, no. Oh my god, now I forgot which one you said.
What, Torkel?
Now I have
Torkel?
Turkelna. Because I was gonna say Tulbakra, and they said no, that's a tough
Torkel
one.
nah.
Oh my god.
That's what you get for making different symbol or different cram like 3 sounds together into one creature name. That's what you get if you can't remember everything. They all sound the same.
Yeah, no. So you got, you got 2 squads of Nagrubs, 2 squads of Drudges, 2 squads of Stingers, and then Turkelna
Yeah, there you go.
with the master set.
So yeah, they were part of that. Marro Warriors fun. Torkelna fun. Although, Joe, have you played Torkelna often?
Often enough to kind of understand what he does. Why?
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I mean,
to face him off
for
against you.
his point value is enormous, but having him bond with the Nagrubs and being able to heal himself with them, and what you do, you essentially use him as a bulldozer. He is just a bulldozer. So even with the double base, you can literally just back him up, beep beep beep, and then just ram in the next unit. And you can leave engagement with him. Risk losing getting a wound just for him to back up and then ram right into you again just to stomp you. So he's a fun one to play with. He's fun.
He can potentially just bash his way through 1 wound models pretty easily if he rolls
very
to
easily.
D20.
And just thinking about the lore part of this, because when you have like Raylan, Thormun spying out these guys, and they're assuming that it's Utgar obviously Utgar brought these into Valhalla, but these were also creatures that spawned on Valhalla as well. So my question, and unfortunately, Jeremy, we love you, but we do miss you. My question would be is when their observation is that Utgar had something to do with bringing them in, but at the same time, I know there was some point within, I think it was either before or after Swarm of the Morrow, the events, that they started spawning themselves, and they're kind of a hard race for Utgard to control, if I remember correctly.
I would presume so, since they are a hive mind.
Yeah.
And so if he doesn't have full control over the hive, then how they could almost be like a rogue faction.
Yeah, they almost are. Usually. I mean, that's how I've always kind of seen them. And I mean, I know for a fact that they did start spawning other versions of themselves while in Valhalla.
Yeah.
Utgar might have brought, some things in initially, but I think there's a few that just ended up, we're going to make something new, here in Valhalla, and just really freak people out.
And that's what the most interesting thing, because I almost want to say maybe that, like, for example, Meebergsaw was a product of something new on Valhalla, because maybe from where they came from, they didn't know what a horse was. Yeah. Because they have giant dogs, small dogs, and then they also had, unless Nagrubs or like the Marden faction became the Valhalla morph. I don't know.
Maybe
that's my
because
theory, but
yeah, because why are they called Marden and not Marro?
right.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I and I guess another question is, and I don't know, maybe we'll try and remember next time Jeremy's on with us to re-ask him these things, or maybe he can just watch this video when the segmented video's out and just answer in the comments below. But I like how they use the term skeleton dogs here. But why is Sergeant Alexander not going to be happy? That's one thing I'm just like, okay, what's that about? That's what comes to my mind. And if I did any form of research, I'd have an answer to that, but I don't. So yeah, and I think that's the video, right?
yeah.
Nothing else I can think of at the moment when it comes to the lore, but basically, Kyrie doing some scouting, and I don't know what happened to Joe. Okay, there you are, Joe. It's like you whited out
okay.
for a second.
I made a thing. So.
And yeah, so they see Utgar already having overwhelming forces of who knows what at that time, and now they got to go back and tell the others. And so that's basically where we're at with Thormun's journal. And next time we will continue reading those journal entries when whatever the next journal entries would be. So that's journal entry, 789? Is that what I said?
Yep.
Let me double check that.
Yep.
That is
789.
why 6 is afraid of 7.
Yep. So that's reading.
Now,
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to finish up with one last thing, but
Yeah, go ahead.
What would be
Do the last thing.
What would be a fun game design aspect if they would have continued on with this Marro storyline is that some of the Marro cards, their home planet would have been Valhalla, as if they were actually originally spawned and somehow created on Valhalla using things that were already there and then not actually summoned from their original homeworld of Mar.
Right. No, yeah. No, I think that would be an interesting thing to put in the cards, because I know they're somewhere to where they started making different versions of themselves on Valhalla. That's why they started Ukkar, I think, started losing control of them, and they just started swarming everywhere. That's it's one of their wonderful qualities. But yes, okay, that has been the reading of Thormun's journal entry 7, 8, and 9, and we'll read more soon in the future.